to I'm going to be asking him some questions. Now, some of them I'm sure he'll answer, some of them he may avoid, and some of them he may add a humorous twist to it, because that's what he does quite often. Anyway,
Hopefully.
what I'd like to do is just kind of discuss, and we'll go on to a couple of things here. But how did music become a part of your life? What was your first experience? What led you into this field?
There wasn't a single moment I can think of. Don't really come from a musical family or anything. Dad played trumpet when he was a kid and a bugle in the Air Force. Mom listened to a lot of Engelbert Humperdinck and Tom Jones, although I did find some Beatles 45s and an old Beach Boys album and out of her collection that took to my ear. And I grew up in a small town in Michigan, Sturgis, Michigan. It's right on the Indiana border in West Michigan, about two and a half hours outside of Chicago. Mom's a Chicago girl, and she was afraid we were going to be country bumpkins growing up where we were, so she constantly took us to the city, to the museums, to ball games, shows, whatnot. But you know, and that was in the 70s, and back then the AM radio was just fantastic, and the FM radio was all getting together. So I'd listen to all these. There was no rock and roll radio where I lived. You couldn't even hear. And I would when I was a smaller kid, the AM hits like Wildfire from Michael Murphy, and God, what were some of the other ones back then? Chevy Van, and boy, they're escaping, Hooked on a Feeling, and all those great 70s hits. And as I got older and listened to the FM with your radio in bed, it's where I discovered Led Zeppelin and the Who and the deeper Stone songs and Beatles songs, and I'd take these back home to Sturgis, and nobody was listening to that stuff back then. It was the era of Journey and Styx and REO Speedwagon, which had their good stuff, but I thought I was something special listening to these. And then I'd be back in Chicago talking to my contemporaries my age there, and they're like, yeah, we've been listening to that stuff for years anyway. So that's what it really got to me, the music by the Who albums and the Zeppelin albums and the Beatles, the later Beatles albums and stuff. Just the lyrics and I love guitar. I was a lead guitar player for years before I went solo troubadour. So that just a lot of passion. I started got a paper route, and all my early money went to buying albums and 45s. And it wasn't until high school till I bought a guitar, but I was into music. I remember it was 5th grade when I bought my first proper vinyl album for you. So we're even almost past the CD age now with the downloads and stuff. But yeah, that's where all my money started going.
Well, it's been a long life of interest with the music, and obviously music talks to you as it does to so many musicians that I've interviewed. It's something in their system that just picks it up and does something in a very tremendous way. And it's interesting. I just happened on